Let there be light!
Oh my goodness. Alright fellas, well, we've had a bit of a painting session amongst a few other little bits and bobs, but we're all bloody painted. Ceiling's painted, walls are painted, and it looks remarkably different to how it was in the last video. The electrician came and wired everything up before Christmas, so the lights are obviously working and the sockets are all wired up, and if we flick on this, the great Gatso is alive. I've just turned the firm fridge off, and this is all wired up. Boop, boop. So we've got power to the keys there again, which is good, and everything's working. I've also, of course, got the fans set up. These are just like post brew day humidity fans. So, as you know, when we've had a full day brewing on the kit, most of the steam is took out through the extractor fan, which I've got to put up today. But of course, when you've done cleaning up and everything's cleaned away and you want to get in the house and lock up, there's still residual steam in here, which I don't want. So the way we've wired them up is they can be on all the time and they come on as required. But if I'm doing anything in here on camera and I don't want them to then come on mid-piece to camera, we've got them on an isolation switch as well. So if I just turn them on, you can see that they are working. They will turn off once the humidity levels have dropped, and they'll come on as and when, day and night. But I can just isolate them when I want to talk without them whirring away. I got the kit out, got it on the bench, painted the bench as well underneath. It's black. I'm going to do the hood black as well and gloss this door black. So there are a couple of little jobs to do. I've still got a leak on the roof, which is a pain in the ass. I've got to sort it out pretty damn quick. It's not affecting the plasterwork yet. It will do if I don't get it sorted. Luckily, it's not dripping through the ceiling. It's getting in on the brickwork and running down the brickwork, and you can see it's coming out of the bottom there. The only thing that's wetting at the minute is the timber stud, which is screwed to the brickwork. It'll be alright for the time being till I get it mended, but it doesn't want to be continuously like that, otherwise it'll rot and start tracking moisture through the wood and into the plasterboard. As yet the plasterboard's dry, so I think it's missing the majority of the stud, but it needs sorting out. But that's it. I have got a piece of worktop here which is going to go on the same sort of free floating table structure that's going to go along there. I've ordered a sink, that should be here tomorrow. I've got to run water supply around to there for filling up the brewery pots, and then I've got to sort out the wiring for this. So on the other end of this I need to run a longer length of cable to get over there. It's just how it is, I'm afraid. I can't have that under the bench because the bench is lower, so it wouldn't fit in. So that's just where it's got to be, and then I'll have a worktop over there eventually. But this is drastically lower than the last table in the last brewery, and it's a lot better for getting in and having a look, which is good. The pots are in a right state, they need a real good wash, but till I've done making dust and that, there's no point. That'll be the last job before we start brewing again. So that's it. It's looking good. It's looking like a bit of a brewery again. which is awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I've got to sand down the paintwork on the hood, and then I'm just going to paint a border of black gloss where it's going to be up against the wall, so I don't have to worry about marking the wall with the black gloss, and then screw her up, and then I can paint the rest when she's up there. So hopefully I'll get that up today. Happy New Year! My goodness me, 2021. Stop there. Well, looking at. Right, so I've started the year with a cock up, which is about right. As you saw, I was painting the hood, the extractor hood, and well, it's looking alright, but you can see a problem that we have drippage, and then I decided to get it up on the wall too prematurely, so I was sort of rushing it, so the paint has got onto the walls, so I need to clear that off and then touch up the paintwork, but anyway, it's securely on. The problem I was having is that I think the problem is that if you remember when I painted this the first time, I glossed it and then varnished it, and I should have just stopped with the gloss, but I ended up varnishing it, which I think has affected the taking a little bit of the black gloss. So you can see up here there's a few little pinholes where it's sort of not taken, and up here is some old silicone which I scraped off, so it's not taken over there. But I think another coat on here, I might just sand it down again and then give it another coat. It was like really cold when I painted it as well, which hasn't helped the paint. The paint was really thick to put on, and I think I've just put too much on, way too much on. But I'm not too bothered about the underside here, because I'm going to be adding something under there. Because the problem I've had when I started brewing with it is that obviously the condensation runs down the inside to here and then drips off, which isn't a huge problem, but I think I'm going to put some trim. Where are you looking? I'm over here. I'm over here, you big goof. And have it running sort of this way, and then have it running sort of that way, and then probably stop it halfway actually and just let it drip onto the floor. It won't be an issue because we've got the squeegee action of the floor now. We can use the drainage and stuff. So the floor isn't going to be an issue getting wet, but it will stop drips coming down here. It'll send them all that way. I picked some of this up. It's just aluminium angle for trimming up the tile work in the kitchen, and then I decided against it. So I might sort of put some of this on the underside so that the drips run onto there and then run sort of where I'll guide it basically. But anyway, she's up. I've also repositioned it to the last time I had it over the pots. The last time I had it over the pots, I was covering all three pots, the HLT, the mash tun and the boil, and really I didn't need to. I only really need extraction over the boil pot. The steam that comes out the HLT is nothing because the lid's fully on. The mash tun, the steam that comes off the mash tun is minimal. It's only really when you're mashing in. Once the lid's on, that's fine. So really I've sort of positioned it more over the boil pot side, which I didn't have before. Before it was very much sort of in this area here, which was a lot thinner because it sloped down to allow me to mount the fan. So it's a lot thinner here, so I was catching less steam. It was allowing it to sort of escape before it got sucked up here. So the boil pot will be sort of below the deepest part now, so the steam will get trapped better and then sucked out through there. So I just need to mount the fan, and I'm going to core drill a hole here. So yeah, apart from that, I've got like a few little holes up here to just fill, and then scrape that black gloss off the wall, and then just touch that paintwork up, and then I made a mark there, look, as I was putting the box up, which I just need to go over with some white emulsion. But apart from that, it's up. I'm rushing it, you see, trying to rush it to get it installed. Oh, it bit me on the arse a bit. Picked up a sink from Screwfix the other day, and that is going into this piece of worktop. And of course I need to figure out the height and how far over it comes, because I don't want to knacker myself up coming through the door. But we're going to install it. So I'm going to find the stud work, plumb it up, screw it, and do the same as I've done here. I've kitted out the frame. So this frame is already screwed to the stud work, which is behind that wall. It's actually wanted to be pushed down a little bit to be level, but once it's got the weight of that on and I've got the props in, then we should be good to go. Just look at the weather. Look at that, it's snowing. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some sort of heater set up on a timer, I think, for the winter, just to keep the chill off in here and stop it from getting corridy damp. It won't need much because it's all insulated, which is good, so it'll be able to just tick on and off. But I don't know what to get. I might get a couple of big space heaters or something, tubular heaters, screw them to the wall. But of course when the fridges are going, they'll be kicking out some heat as well from the backs of them. Right, anyway, let's get these props, legs, supports. Oh, you bastard. So I've done the same thing that I've done with the brew tables. It's a floating table. So just bird mouthed out these so that they sit on the support at the bottom like that, so all the weight's being pushed down onto that level surface where the hand is, and then screwed up underneath. I've got two of them. So yeah, I'm liking this this design because you know, we're transferring weight straight down onto a bird's mouth instead of relying on the screws to take the weight, and then it's just going to be screwed up to there like so. I can get all the way under here for hoovering out and mopping and stuff.
Absolutely bloody brilliant. Absolutely bloody brilliant.
Come on, laugh, let's have it.
Perfect.
Oopsie daisy. That's it then for this video. Sink is in. Shit, the sink's in. Let me get rid of this. Hang on a minute. I made the mistake of cutting the hole out too small, only by a couple of millimetres, and I'd already marked it up as cutting back 15mm all the way around. After marking for the sink, it needed to be 13mm, and I thought, well, 2mm not going to hurt. It hurt big time. So I've had a real struggle getting the clips on, and the last one in this corner I'm struggling to get on. See, it wants to go down a little bit. But I've used all my patience up today on it, so I'm going to have to come back when I'm a bit fresher and calmer, because if I try it again I'm going to rip it off the wall. But apart from that, I've obviously fixed the worktop to the table frame, and because it's fixed at the back, which is fixed solid to the wall, it's now put the rigidness into it, so it no longer wants to move side to side on the front, because the front's obviously not attached to anything, it's just free floating. But it means that we can now get under here to mop and clean stuff without having legs down, and I can store stuff over there and whatnot without the legs getting in the way. But I think it looks pretty good. I just need to gloss it the same as I've glossed this, and then it'll all match. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously get the waste and order a waste, and then run the waste straight into the ACO. Nick a couple of these out on the gully and then drop the pipe, not all the way in but just in, so that when we drain the sink it'll just go straight into the drain. There is the water supply, which I need to tee off of, so I can send a length of pipe around here so I can have water for the brewery, and then the other tap will just be a cold tap. And then I'm probably going to get at some point a water heater screwed to the wall there, and then I can pipe that up if I want to have hot water in here, and I can power it off the plug at the bottom. It's looking pretty good. I've managed to sort of move it over that way, because when I'm coming through the doorway I didn't want to catch it or it make that walkway narrow, because here we're going to have another worktop which is going to probably finish about there, which is going to give me probably 1.5 meters, 2 meters of a walkway pathway through, which will be fine. I'm pleased though. I'm pleased with how it's turned out. We now have a sink in the brewery. That's the first time I've had a sink in the brewery here, or at the old place. It's going to be very helpful, I think, to have one. But that's it, fellas. It's taking shape. It's taking shape. Anyway, that's it for now. So as always, don't forget to thumbs this video if you want to do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click your marks. Go down and click the bell. See you until next time.